して明日へゴミあふれ What is the stage? Go!
Hello, my fellow Kamen Rider enthusiasts. Sorry, I had to collect my thoughts. This is GundamLegacyExtreme, and I am here today to do a review on Kamen Rider Ixa SH Figuarts. Yeah, I originally intended to do an unboxing review, so we all together could see my first thoughts on it. Because it's hard to give you my very first thoughts without actually showing you the figure right as soon as I open the box. But unfortunately, things went horribly wrong with that video, and I couldn't edit out a lot of the stuff, so I have to unfortunately redo the video. But the reason I'm showing the box is for any of my Gundam fans who aren't into Kamen Rider or want to pick up an SH Figuarts but don't know what the boxes look like, or just want to see what the box art is. This is the back of the box art, the front of the box art. You get the image of this is different than most toys that I'm used to. Unfortunately, the box for G3 is on the other side of my room, so I can't actually use that as a comparison. But it's all monoed out, and actually, I could show you. This is the kind of box you would normally get for Kamen Rider series that are done with. This is the kind of box art that you would get for Kamen Rider series that are still active. It says Kamen Rider instead of Master Rider, the translation of Kamen Rider. This is the box art for Double. This is the box art for Ixa. That's the only kind of comparison I can do. Ixa comes from the Kamen Rider Kiva series, which was the 2008 Kamen Rider series. I'm not 100%. Yeah, it was the 2008 to 2009 Kamen Rider series. He was the second Kamen Rider. Well, technically, he was the first Kamen Rider. He was, canon-wise, he is the second Kamen Rider introduced throughout all of Kamen Rider. I mean, of all the Kamen Riders in the Kamen Rider Kiva storyline. The first one was Dark Kiva, though we didn't know about him yet, but he is the first Kamen Rider that we know of, canon-wise, in canonical order. Then comes the Bronze Ixa system, which is the prototype Ixa system. Then comes the Gold Ixa system, which was the one that we know of in the 2008 timeline. Because Kamen Rider Ixa was a really weird series that jumped between 1986 and 2008. Anyway, now to get to the figure itself. It looks beautiful. This figure is, once again, nicely sculpted, looks amazing, though looks can be a little deceiving. Unfortunately, he falls short of what made me so happy with Kamen Rider Double's Psycho Joker Extreme figure. He doesn't have as good of articulation, but I can forgive it because it's not his fault, it's the armor fault. It's the faults of the armor. For you see, unfortunately, when they made Kamen Rider Ixa, when they made the suit for Kamen Rider Ixa, they never anticipated it to be made into a figure that would have such nice articulation. And because of that, the figure has a lot of faults. First one being the way the arms peg in. The ball joint has to be up like that. Thus, it takes away from the articulation of the wrists. Really, you can rotate it 360 and get a little bit of wiggle, but not as much. Second being the arm articulation, but I'll get into that when I go over articulation. But everything else looks nice. The sculpt, the detail, everything just screams SH Figuarts quality. Though, again, there are some little slip-ups, like a little bit of gold paint not really working right up there, but I'm nitpicking. Let's get into articulation, because I've taken too much time just going over this a little bit. Head will look up about that far, down about that far. It doesn't get a lot of articulation because of that collar. It can rotate 360, goes waist. It's on that nice triple ball joint, so it can go up like that, down like that, and unlike double, he can rotate 360. Arms will rotate 360, go in and out. It's a little tighter than doubles. And of course, being on the double ball joint, you can get all ranges of articulation. Bicep swivel, bends at 2 points. Now, if you start up top, you can get it a little bit higher. And as I showed you, hands will rotate and wiggle. Legs will go out like that. It's not on the same joint as double, meaning you can't pull it down to get more. It will go forwards about that far, back about that far. Unfortunately, it's due to the sculpt of the side skirts. You can rotate it at the thigh, and it bends at 2 points, and you get a nice knee armor motion. Legs will go side to side, rotate 360, go down about that far, and up about that far. And, of course, toes will bend. Now, unfortunately, because of my early babbling, this video went on a little bit too far, so, for once, I'm going to have to do accessories in the second part for a figure. Actually, no, not for once with an SH Figuarts. So, I'm going to cut it here, and start part 2.